Welcome to this week's edition of Peak Performers Life, sponsored by Express Employment Professionals. Listen in as Walter teaches us all how to go to the next level.
Welcome, Peak Performers, and welcome to Peak Performers Life. I'm so excited about today's message. I'm always excited about the message, but today's a special message. Today, we're going to talk about transformation. If you think about transformation, the definition of transformation is basically having a huge shift in appearance or form. You know what? I've studied business and I've studied companies, and some of these companies out here have made one small change that had huge worldwide billion-dollar impact. For example, Starbucks. You guys know Starbucks started out as a bean company. All they did was sell beans. Howard Schultz took a trip over to Europe and he started seeing these coffee houses. And he came back to America and wanted to replicate a coffee house. And instead of selling beans, he says, you know what? Let's just sell a good quality cup of coffee. He says he went all over the place and it was hard to find a good quality cup of coffee. That subtle change, think about it. From going from just selling beans to selling good quality cups of coffee direct to consumers, changed the game of coffee, if not in America, but around the world. This one idea, this one shift, this one transformation of a business model has huge billion-dollar impact. If you really think about transformation, a lot of people make transformation a big deal, but most of your transformations are going to be based on some small decisions over time that will have a huge impact. In fact, if you take a straight line that's not almost straight, but 1 degree off of being straight, if you keep extending that line forward, guess what happens? Over time, that line is shifted in a totally different direction. So small changes can have a huge impact. So I want you to look at your life. What small changes can you make in your life that can transform your life? What small changes can you make in your company that can transform your company? When I think about transformation, some of the smallest changes can have huge impact. I think in business, your goal every year is to be 10% better. That's not asking a lot. That's very small. I think that's very manageable. Every year, if you get 10% better, guess what's going to happen over the next 10 years? You will be 100% better. In other words, in 10 years, if you improve 10%, it will have huge impact on your business, on your department, on your finances, on your marriage, on your relationships. 10% can have a huge impact on your kids. You know what? I get a kick out of TV shows. I watch these TV shows all the time, and they always want to do a makeover. The TV shows that I get a kick out the most are these makeovers that take 30 minutes. You know what? They take a person backstage, they do their hair, they give them a nice outfit, and then they come back in front of the audience, and the audience goes, oh my God, wow, you look so different. But think about how cosmetic that is. If that person doesn't have a true transformation, they're going to go back quickly to looking how they always look. The shows I love the most is The Biggest Loser. This person has a makeover, but this makeover takes time and subtle decisions every single day in 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months have huge impacts. In fact, they take these people off property and sequester them in a hotel or some type of living arrangement, and they totally transform how a person eats, prepare foods, and they even teach them how to retrain their brain on how much food is enough, and they get educated on what is good to eat and what's not good to eat. So what happens? This person over time, by making subtle changes, is totally transformed, but this transformation can be permanent. This subtle difference can have a huge impact for the rest of their lives. You know what? Your transformation is going to be based on how you think. If you don't think differently, transformation won't happen. The reason why these people have success on The Biggest Loser is because they make the right decision every day. And over extended amounts of time, that transformation is visible, and for me, that transformation is a wow. So you have to ask yourself the question, what type of transformation do you want? Do you want something that's cosmetic and short-lived, or do you want to have true transformation that can last over time and can be sustained? The key to your life is simple. Transformation are little bitty decisions that can have a huge impact over time. Starbucks, you heard of them. They have changed the game of coffee. They have disrupted coffee. And Starbucks made simple decisions. Instead of selling beans, they decided to sell coffee directly to the consumer because they believed that it was hard to find a good quality cup of coffee. Starbucks has disrupted the coffee business, and it's hard not to find a Starbucks on every corner. And Starbucks today doesn't really have any competition that I consider apples and apples. So when you think about your life, I want you to understand completely the small changes in life can have a huge impact. The thing I love about business, this example of Starbucks, it wasn't really driven by money. It was driven about giving the consumer a good quality cup of coffee. I can help your company transform today. And the way I'm going to help your company transform, don't focus on the money. What I want you to focus on is giving good quality products and good quality service, and I promise you the money will come. For example, we made a commitment to give our fans easy, accessible 10-minute podcast a week. We checked our data last week. We had people enjoying the podcast in South Africa, Australia, and Europe. This 10-minute podcast is already being distributed around the world. One subtle difference in our business, one thing we added, is having a huge worldwide impact. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, your transformation is based on you right now making a commitment to make one subtle change that can have lasting impact. Final thought, and I'm going to let you go about your day because I only need about 10 minutes of your time a week. You know what? Do you guys know 1/3 of the world is obese? What would happen every day at lunch, instead of you going down to that cafeteria and getting a cheeseburger and fries, what would happen if you took that lunch break and all of a sudden, instead of the sedentary lifestyle you've had, what would happen if you took a 30-minute walk every single day at lunch? I want to give a shout out to Polaris. I live near the world headquarters of Polaris. And on my side street, Mohawk, they walk up and down my street. It's a little annoying because when I want to go home, I have to make sure I don't run anybody over. But here's the good news. They have a commitment to walking Mohawk. And all of a sudden, I guarantee you they have more energy, they're losing weight, and those who are committed to taking that stroll through lunchtime, at the end of the year, 365 days from now, instead of that cheeseburger and fries in the cafeteria and that sedentary lifestyle in front of that computer, that one commitment every single day to walk can have a huge impact on your waistline. I'm here to tell you that little subtle changes can have a huge impact in your marriage, your relationships, and your children. Transformation is real. I want you to want transformation. As far as I'm concerned, I'm never going to arrive, and neither are you. But I want you to understand, if you really want to transform, not cosmetically, but truly transform, some of the smallest little changes every single day can have a huge impact in your life. Final thought, and I'm done. Do you guys know, if you have a $150,000 mortgage, if you take $25 a month and apply it directly to your principal, that it will cut 2 years off your mortgage. You see, that $25, some people are running to casinos trying to solve their financial problem instead of being smart with that $25 and maybe applying it directly to their mortgage, or maybe even having a mutual fund that is directly drafted from their account with compounding interest. Do you guys know what 25 bucks can do to your financial situation? I'm here to tell you that transformation is powerful. But when you think about transformation, think about these little subtle decisions over time that can have a huge impact in your marriage, in your finances, in your company, in your world, in your life. You can disrupt your world by making small changes that will be transformative and give you huge payback and huge dividend. I tell you what, we are committed to being your support partner. And Peak Performers, I want you to understand, I know about transformation. It's not always easy, But if we can transform this and think differently and make different decisions and be wise, the smallest decisions every single day in due time will have a huge impact in your life. I want you to think. I want you to execute. I want you to transform. And then, peak performers, you will dominate.